This is lesson number 13, and it begins with the understanding that I did search for 10 years to find an answer in men that would save this earth, and I could not do it. I could not do it. Everything that men do, they do because of leadership and things that are male. You know, they get focused in. You can't tell them something because they'll believe that you're trying to change them, and they'll revolt against that, and so on and so on. So after 10 years of searching, I decided to just say to God, to search for Him and to say, I don't want to see them die. I don't want to be here for their hell. Take me now. But I was told, you're not done yet, so I had to turn around and see life from a different view. The opposite direction, of course, is female in actual fact. Male goes one way, female goes another kind of thing, and you balance it out in the middle. You actually revolve your lives around each other to do that. So anyway, the point being that I asked of the female world, or the spiritual female world. Well, I asked the female world, but they would not reply. So I asked of the spiritual female world, what would you do? And the answer is, of course, that only law can save this world. And that's absolutely true. Only law can save this world. And we have to balance ourselves within that framework. Only law can save this world. You need to understand that. You need to recognize what is a law. And that means that you have to understand that this affects all of us the same. In other words, if you kill your world over there, you have to immigrate over here. Or if we kill our world over here, we have to immigrate over there. And of course we cannot do that anymore. There are just too many people and too few resources, and we have to deal with what we have to deal with. It's not a game anymore. It's not whatever you want. It's not whatever you believe. It's not 10,000 different things that people want for themselves. It's simply the truth of where we are at as a planet. It is a finite planet. There's not enough resources for all of us if we don't share them. And there's not enough time or patience or anything but war. We certainly have enough weapons to cause our extinction in 10,000 different ways. And they are surrounding us. All those threats are surrounding us. The most horrendous of them all is, of course, trying to ignite the planet on fire by bringing the same fire here as is on the sun. It is actually an atomic fire. It burns atoms. And once you ignite that here on a planet where everything is fuel, you can't extinguish it. So we have to stop them, or we have to die. That's the cost of being wrong. That's the cost of being wrong. Are you willing to pay? I'm not. Life is too precious for that. This world is too precious for that. Mutilating all of nature is too precious for that. You can take a look at your current TV show, Masked Singer. Is a reflection of the university again. And of course they're preparing you for the idea that we're going to mix all the genetic material together and see what we get. And of course what we get is death. The mutilation of life itself. No child will be born whole again. No child will be born able to do what life allows it or needs it to do. All these things are going to be tragic and failure and the cost of humanity playing God. And you will search for extinction at that point and probably not find it, because the end result is, hell is hell. It's what you chose, so this is what you get. Kind of like, choosing, well, anyway. The What we need to do is understand that the law is what we make it. We are in charge of our law. It is that simple. We are in charge of our law. That's our job. That's our purpose as a society, to decide what is the law that serves us best. And of course, there will be a few rules along the way, because, for instance, if we all drive on the right-hand side of the road, or we all drive on the left-hand side of the road, that's better than if we all drive on either side, and it don't make no difference and we crash. So there will be some rules. But the rules make rulers, and the rules make the righteous believe they can judge everybody because you didn't follow the rule exactly as it said. And the consequence of that is that we become angry with each other. Because, it's not being a shared life or a fair life or a justified life or any of that. And the courts are, of course, responsible for justice and equity and so on, but they don't do that. Or they do that very little. And they're just like the rest of society. They want what they want, and they believe what they believe, and they do what they do because they want to do it or they don't want to do it. Just like you. Policing does get a little out of hand at times, but that's primarily because they're facing people with guns all the time. People that are, livestock out of control all the time. And they have to contain it. That's their job, is to contain it. It's not their job to die for you. And it's not your job to condemn them for being police officers. You need to accept the idea that there are, we are all humans. We all make mistakes. We all live as best we can within the framework of what we did choose. What you choose matters. There's any number of things to prove that. But you need to recognize the direction you're going, and you need to turn around when you're going the wrong way. And we look at this nation, and it is going the wrong way. This nation is choosing to believe that it can turn the clock back with war. You cannot choose to bring the war, turn the clock back with war. That's what every leader that has to decide after the war begins. But of course, you can't bring this world back to what it was. That's over. It's dead. It's gone. It is what it is today. And we have to accept that as a fact. We are twice as many people as we were in 1974. Twice as many, actually more, and probably much more than that. We cannot sustain that growth. That's over 50 years, in case you don't know. And, doubling over 50 years, and the planet simply cannot support that. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what I want. The planet is finite. The planet cannot support that. The water supply cannot support that. The food supply cannot support that. The oceans cannot support that. Nothing that humans have done is sustainable. It was a case of greed, and I lived through it. And people, when Reagan gave away the currency to the university decides, they gave $1 million to all the people they wanted to, and the end result was society said, "We found the money, let's go get it." And that's exactly what they did. They went to go get it. And the university resisted at first, but they decided, well, yeah, this could work. All we have to do is keep printing the money. And of course, in Reagan's time, what happened was he was able to make a difference because he sold you out. He sold all the gold. And after he sold all the gold, he was pretty good for a bit. But of course, he didn't pay a single debt with that gold. He just did what he wanted to do. He was free as long as, he had something that somebody else wanted, even though it was yours, not his. And so we need to remove leaders. We need to accept the fact that greed won't save you. Greed won't defend your life. Greed won't get you everything you want. And I know it has for the last 50 years. But as is the constant of reality, you're not going to be doing that much longer. And if you don't save what you have, you'll go past the point of no return, and there is no then future. There is no future for any child. You stole it. You stole it. It's not a case of you did what you wanted to do. It's a case of you stole it. You got what you got by stealing the future from those who are your children. That's what you did do. You stole it from the world of nature, from the world of creatures, from everybody, from everything. You stole it. And of course, that's the same that everybody across the world wanted to do. They want more, 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 more. That's what animals do. That's what want is. That's what belief is. I believe I can. Yes, I can. I can. You can't stop me. As is apathy. You can't stop me. Or arrogance is, yes, I can. And disrespect is, I will judge you if you get in my way. As is the beginning of hate. And of course, people get in your way. And then you hate, and the end result of that is that it becomes a war. When the games take too much, people shall yell war. And as history proves, that happens again and again and again and again and again. Never stops because men are in charge, and men are willing to gamble with their lives and willing to take what they can get. Everything they can get, and that ends with you took too much, and now there's war. To reset the scale and start all over again, because we don't have a choice. Some figure is, and that's what is happening in America today. Don't have a choice. We have to do something. And of course, if you don't do the right thing, you lose everything. You lose everything. Because that's what the price of being wrong is. You can't go back to war. It won't work. This is not 1940. It's not 1940. And that means that what you destroy is going to probably stay destroyed. You will have a hard time repairing it because the planet cannot stand it. Cannot stand the heat that you release, cannot stand the things that you do, cannot stand the nature you mutilate, cannot stand the resources you destroy, cannot stand the ocean life as being exterminated, cannot stand global warming. Just you name it, it cannot be tolerated. The world will die. And it is a living world, which means it can die. Even if you don't think so, the world has changed because humanity made it so. Double the population is double the population. Doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter what you want or don't want. It is double the population, and double the population is double the need, double the want, double the beliefs. You can't just believe your way out of it. We have to accept our truth. And in order to survive, we have to create the laws that will let us survive. Not because we want to, not because you don't want to, but because truth requires it. We have to have truth to survive. Only truth survives. There are consequences to every truth that we choose. And we have to decide what truth we can accept, what truth we can live with. And we have to enforce that law. You can't make a law like is being done at the United Nations. They make some crazy rule or other, who cares? And it's not enforced, which means it doesn't matter what they do. It's just a game. We have to enforce the law that we make. And that means that leaders that get out of line create war, create destruction, create murder and mayhem, as is current in Ukraine and current in Israel and those places. We have to arrest those leaders, identify what is the problem, identify what is the solution that you can or your people can live with and determine what will in fact be the future for you. People who choose to or hate. You know, Netanyahu hates those who throughout the Jewish people, and then of course that ended in the Holocaust, and that ended in all kinds of problems for them. So now they're out to hate. And in Russia, Putin is simply trying to create a legacy for himself that says, you know, I did for you everything that you wanted me to do. I got you more. But there is no more. And we have to accept the idea that groups are going to have to be divided, because that's just how it is.